What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to go over my winch and my intercooler system that I have in my truck. 2020 F-150 3.5 Ecoboost. It's probably the most common question that I get asked because it's not a very common thing to see a winch mounted on an Ecoboost. And there is some hurdles, and we're going to go over all that, what I like and what I dislike, and why I went with what I went with. So without further ado, here is the system, or the setup, I guess. So full race intercooler, which mounts it up here. And I've taken off the grill and stuff for you guys so you guys can get a better idea of what's actually going on here. So this intercooler mounts up in front of the radiator, as opposed to being down here where the winch now sits. And I'll zoom in or get in close here. So this is actually the winch down there. You can see, get it to zoom in right there. It is a Smittybilt X2O 12,000 pound synthetic line. This is the control box up here. Over here is obviously the selector, so you can go from free spool to the clutch and all that stuff. And then this obviously is the intercooler, which brings it up, allows you to be able to run the winch. So pretty simple system, just out of the box, full race. It has a Smittybilt, so this plate here is actually the winch plate, and it mounts to the factory bumper location with the same bolts. So behind these little bread box deals here, actually let's see if I can pop one off for you guys. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So here's the factory bumper bolts, and it mounts right in there with those. And then you have obviously the fair lead plate that kind of mounts in front of that. And then obviously I have my block here with my fair lead. So a couple things that I really liked about this kit is, one, it allows you to run a winch at all. Two was the fitment of it wasn't the best in my opinion. I'm not saying that it was terrible, but actually, let me rephrase that. The winch plate and winch itself was awesome. Rough country winch plate, did everything it was supposed to do, have absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. It was awesome, came with everything, grade 8, super awesome kit for the money. It was 250 bucks for the plate. It's everything you absolutely need. So super awesome setup there. The intercooler is where I actually have my issues. So the kit is sold as an out-of-the-box, off-the-shelf kit to be able to run a winch on a 2.7 and a 3.5 liter Ecoboost, and it does to an extent. So I actually had to make a pipe to relocate the blow-off valve lower than the motor on the winch, and I wasn't really super happy with that because there is quite a bit of room to where that didn't need to happen. And I'll get under there and I'll show you guys just here in a second, car driving by, kind of what I mean. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. The overall fit of the kit was, I would say, 6 out of 10, all things considered. The kit itself, as far as build quality, was awesome, 10 out of 10. Just the fit of it, I feel like they could have done a little bit more R&D and got it to fit a lot nicer. Again, personal preference, personal opinion, I don't think that it's a bad kit. And obviously I'm running it, it's been great, no leaks or nothing like that. It's just, it could have been better for the money. I think it was like $1,200 for the kit, and could have been a little bit better. So I'll show you guys kind of a couple things that I'm displeased with. And again, I'm not trying to sway your opinion one way or the other. This is just what I had issues with, or what I'm continuing to have issues with, and why I feel like they could make it just a little bit better. So the first thing is this mount up here. It mounts onto, or in front of, the hood release. So you can see it mounts there. Now it is adjustable, and I have it adjusted all the way down. But you can see how far it's angled up, and it's pretty thick aluminum. Not the easiest thing to bend without cracking. And I mean, there's a lot of room for improvement there, I think. You can see that it uses the stock bushings from the stock deal. And then you look inside there, and those are the pins for the intercooler itself. You can see how far down they are. Now, in a perfect world, those sit flush with the rubber. There is no gap here, and it's sitting perfectly and holding that intercooler in place. Now it is sturdy, so there's no issues there. The other mounting point is down here, right there. So that bolt right there, and there's a bracket that the intercooler sits on. Same thing, you can see how it mounts really nice. Flush mount there. Pretty flush right there. So the bottom is great, no issues. Comes with all these T-clamps, silicone inlets, or piping, excuse me. And then up into the throttle body, you get, again, silicone piping and some T-bolts, and then an aluminum charge pipe, which, again, not bad, could have been better. So underneath here, I'll get under here and dealing with all this rain, of course, but so here is what I have to run. This is a Turbo Smart E blow-off valve plugged in here, and I'm gonna try to get a better view of the pipe that I had to make. So that pipe right here, this is plastic and it's not part of the kit. Ideally, this pipe here goes from here to this coupling right here, should mount right up there to the bottom of the intercooler. And this right here is the bottom of the intercooler. This is a piece of charge pipe from my stock system that I cut and had to make work to actually lower the blow-off valve underneath my winch. So you can see here's the winch, the controller, all that good stuff. Fits over here on this side, fits great, there's no clearance issues. This side, there is all this real estate right here that they could have just moved everything over, and the blow-off valve clearance issue would not have been a problem at all. But they have it mounted in such a way that it interferes with the motor of the winch right here. And so I had to actually lower it down underneath the winch to get everything to clear. And I'm just a little displeased with that. I bought this blow-off valve in hopes that would have solved my issue, because the stock one is huge, and there was no change in anything. But again, other than that, super happy with the kit. Bolts together pretty nicely. You get all the silicone couplers. You have the T-bolts on everything, and then this is the the charge pipe, excuse me, that goes up into the throttle body here. So if you want to run this kit on a 2.7 or a 3.5, and you go with the full race intercooler kit, just know that it is not necessarily a complete plug and play bolt up kit. It's not terrible, it's just could be better, especially for the money. The winch itself I'm super happy with. It's a wireless winch. This hole here is for an adapter that could actually plug into the winch, and then you can plug your switch into that, but with a wireless winch. And I still have lots of access to be able to get to my plug if I need to. And it's right down there, on the top of the controller. Not the easiest thing to get to, but doable if I absolutely need to, if my controller dies or something like that and I need to run a backup cable. But my cable doesn't fit in this hole here, so I think eventually I'm gonna probably get a new plate to cover that area, because there is a little bit of a gap here and here, but really not terrible. The only thing I would have to say bad about the winch is the hook that they give you is a cast hook. It just looks and feels flimsy. I wasn't really too impressed with it, so I honestly didn't even run the winch before I took it off. And you have to cut it, so I cut it off and I put this factor 55 flat link. Super happy with that. It allows you to run it right up to the fair lead like so you don't have to run it to a hook or anything like that. So it keeps the end of the winch, or the end of the winch line, out of harm's way. It keeps it nice and tucked up, gives it a cleaner look. And this flat link is absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to Factor 55. Their products are amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. All in all, with the winch and the winch plate from Rough Country, I would give a 10 out of 10. Super happy with that product. The full race intercooler and install, well, let's do this. The install I will give, I don't know, a 5. I would say there's a lot of room for improvement, I think. Fit and finish, I would give a 6. It's, again, lots of room for improvement. The kit itself, as far as build quality, I mean 10. It's amazing. It's really nice. There was no bent fins or anything. Well, actually, there really still isn't any bent fins. The packaging was awesome, and you know, they make a good product. I just wish that they would spend a little bit more R&D on their install, and it didn't include any instructions, so I did have to look online. Pretty straightforward install, but it would have been nice to have a set of instructions with maybe some pictures or just a description of what they do or how they do it, without me having to go onto YouTube and try to find a video for certain things, because there's no labeling of the couplers or anything like that. So overall, if we take all those things into account with the full race kit, I would give it a 6 out of 10. It does look really good though behind the grill. So, and before I forget, I put the grill back together for you guys just so you guys can see. So with the 2020, or I think 2015 actually, to 2020, there's a lot of shutters and stuff behind the grill. To install this intercooler, you will have to cut those out and remove them. It doesn't cause any check engine lights or anything like that, but just be aware that if you guys run this kit, you will be having to cut behind the grill to get rid of them shutters. And then same thing down here, it removes some shutter things because obviously you have no more airflow going in there, so the shutters are kind of null and void at that point. But this is what it looks like behind the grill. Just kind of tucks up back in there, pretty nice. And please don't take this as a, you know, gospel by any means. I'm not trying to bash Full Race by any means. I'm not trying to say that their product's garbage or anything like that. I just want to give you guys a very unbiased opinion on how I see it. I wasn't paid to say anything. I wasn't given their product. I paid for it with my own money. I paid for the winch. I paid for everything you guys see on this truck. Nothing's been given to me. So everything that I'm telling you guys is strictly based on my opinion and real world experience with it. The kit is not bad by any means. And if you weren't running a winch with it, it would be even better because there would be no clearance issues that you have to worry about. With that being said, it is sold and marketed as an intercooler, so you're able to run a winch. So that's kind of where my issue lies with the kit itself, is don't market it for that if it's not something that bolts right up and is able to just slap a winch in there, because it is to an extent, but at the same time it's not. You will have to do some customization type stuff to be able to get the winch to fit properly. And again, don't take this as me bashing their product. I think they make a really nice product. I just think that it could be better. So take it as, you know, it is what it is. Good product, could be better. Rough country winch mount, awesome, really like it, fits great. Instructions were awesome, no issues with it whatsoever. Smitty built winch, it's a winch, it does what it's supposed to do, it pulls things, and that's what it is. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment, and until next time, I will see you guys later.